Okay, well, there's quite a few things that people do, sending out wrong photos and typos and things like that. But I think the biggest error of judgment I ever saw by a PR company was when I was on the Food Processing magazine. It was basically engineering for food, and a company decided to launch a new product. I think it was a flow meter or a valve or something very interesting like that. And I hired a hall and thought, we'll do the presentation, give them all some food, we'll get journalists there, we'll get clients, customers, future customers, potential people there, and give them something to eat, as I said. And then afterwards we'll do a race day. We'll do all these things where they show American racing and you all have a bet and all that. And we got there, and it was very good, about 100 people there, really well attended. Food was nice, presentation was good, all worked fine. Then they said, let's do the racing. So there's a lot of people that didn't know what to do. So they had a bloke at the front doing all the betting, all the signs. And they had some girls dressed as jockeys walking around helping people fill in the forms, do all that kind of thing. And they said at the end of the day, whoever's got the most money will win a bottle of champagne, a hotel voucher and a special prize. So we got to the last race of the night and I thought, I'm not going to win this, I haven't got enough money, so I put the whole lot on one horse, and it won, and I ended up winning the first prize. So it was myself and a colleague, and they said, right, you need to sit in the middle of the room, put a desk up, and here's your champagne, there's your hotel voucher, here's your special prize. And in front of all these journalists and the customers, potential customers, suppliers, all that, the two girls who were in jockey outfits came in, took the clothes off and did a full-on lesbian sex show in the middle of the room. Yeah, there's been a bit of a shift, I think, in the last couple of years, especially with the economic climate. And vendors seem to now have more of an opinion on what happens. In the old days, I think vendors would take on a marketing or a PR agency and say, okay, you're the experts, you do it, you look after that kind of thing. We'll just keep the business going. Nowadays, there's more. I think the vendors want more for their money and they want more of an input into what happens. So it's quite often now you see people being, either PR agencies being dropped and the companies taking them over themselves, taking accounts over, and then they just disappear, you never hear from them again. Or quite often, in the last couple of weeks even, I've had PR agencies phoning me up saying, what did you think of that press release? And I've gone, well, I'm not really interested in the fact that the MD's just climbed Kilimanjaro. And they say, well, yeah, sorry about that, but it's what they wanted us to put out. And you think, well, the PR agency themselves, they knew it was wrong for us, they knew we wouldn't cover it, they knew that it probably won't get featured in any magazines, apart from the ones that charge colour separations for photos. But the vendor thought that was the way to do it, and I think the vendors have to realise they've got to take a step back at the moment and think, well, okay, money is tight and you want more impact, so let the marketing PR people get you the impact, don't tell them what you want. And that's probably been the main change, that, you know, I always used to contact the PR company first for a story, and then they would contact the marketing person at the company or the MD or whoever. Now there seems to be the MD talks to me and then we involve the PR agency, so that probably is a change not for the better. They do, because there's a lot of magazines, including Risk UK, still have regular sections or newsletters, email newsletters that feed off press releases. So while you will have a couple of news stories every week in the newsletter, there'll be one or two new products, one or two case studies, that kind of thing. You will always need press releases, again, because there are magazines that thrive wholly on press releases, like product books, things like that. Depending on their market, they may only be a product book, and the only way they will find out about new products is through press releases. There's a lot of forward-thinking people saying it's LinkedIn now, and it's Twitter, and it's Facebook, and these. But you have to have, obviously, those people on board the editors on board. They have to like you, or they have to be members of your LinkedIn group for them to actually see the press release, and they have to be online as well. Whereas if they're just emailed out, as they all are now, you know that everybody's getting the email and you've got more chance of being covered. So the press releases, certainly for me, will always have a place. I think the most rewarding story was when I met a man who lost his job on Christmas Eve. He was made redundant, and on New Year's Eve he was surfing the internet, got an idea for a product that he thought he'd seen in niche marketing. He phoned me up in about February, March time, and said, look, I've got this product, and it's an ingredient for chocolate, to emulsify the chocolate. And I found an organic source of this in India, I think it was India, he said, I'm going to import it. He said, would you like to write about this story? And I said, well, that's something that we used to do on that particular magazine. And I said, yeah, we'll cover that. We wrote an article, an interview with him, and somebody at Cadbury's apparently read it, said, we want to do the organic route. He overnight then did a deal with Cadbury's, and he became, I don't know, but he's not in my circle anymore. He's moved on to loftier climes. It'd be nice to meet Bill Gates, because he's quite generous with his money. So if I can put myself across as a bit of a charity case, he might feel sorry for me.